defense actually reminded me. I know we text about this a little bit, but I didn't want to be blasphemous here on the podcast, but I'm going to say it. This Chiefs defense today reminded me of the 90s Chiefs defense with Derek Thomas and Neil Smith back when they were going after guys like Boomer Esiason. Remember that guy from the Cincinnati Bengals? Maybe you don't. Warren Moon when he was with the Houston Oilers. How about that guy? How about Bernie Kosar with the Browns? No, probably not. How about Drew Bledsoe? We went after him a lot, but this John Elway, they were always going after John Elway. I ripped his arm off. By the way, if you're listening at home, I'm showing my old action figures here, and I was so mad at John Elway one time. I ripped his arm off, and so this is a one-armed John Elway right now that I'm holding up. I'm throwing him to the side too because you know what? The Chiefs got after Dak Prescott. If I had a Dak Prescott action figure, I'd rip one of his arms off too because right now the Chiefs defense destroyed him today. 5 sacks. Held them to basically under 200 yards passing, held the running backs to under 100 yards rushing. I think Zeke got a little bit dinged up, but he only had like 30 yards rushing. It was an incredible job by the defense. Chris Big Sack Jones, yes, I'm calling him Chris Big Sack Jones now because he's back, CEO of Sack Nation. Frank Clark getting after it. Oh my goodness, the Chiefs defense has been incredible the past month, and at the beginning of the season, I thought that they were going to be a good defense. I thought they were going to be more like this type of defense, and they were injured the first part of it. It took them a while to get here, but now that they're here, as long as they can stay healthy, I know there's a couple injury concerns, but I think that they're going to be like this throughout the rest of the season. And when the offense is struggling a little bit, the defense will be there to pick them up, and that's how you get back to the Super Bowl, and that's how you win the Super Bowl. And the Chiefs are heading back.
I might as well just close the podcast, Mark. I literally cannot outdo that. I had to mute my microphone during part of the action figure. I'm definitely cutting that for the YouTube video, by the way. So people will see that during the thing. Man, that was great. Chris Jones, the guy had 3.5 sacks. Jerron Reed stole half a sack from him after the game. Chris Jones kind of made a funny comment and said, "Yeah, I think I deserve 4. We'll go, review the tape and maybe like sign a petition to the league and say, hey, give me my half a sack." But 5 on the day for the Chiefs. Frank Clark had 1 by himself. It was a strip sack that Jones recovered. Man, defensive line for the Chiefs. Reed has played better as of late. Maybe not quite up to the contract, but I think pretty close to it in the past 2 or 3 games. Chris Jones, he's not 100%. He's still not playing inside 100% of the time. So his productivity is still sapped, probably a decent deal. He played like a defensive player of the year against the Cowboys. I mean, he was great, and Frank Clark too. Obviously Melvin Ingram making a difference, but really the 2 stars along that line for the Chiefs stepped up, and Clark, he's healthy now. He has that weight back on. He looks as good as he's ever looked as a Chief. I think he looks explosive. He looks fast. He looks powerful. He looks motivated. When those 2 are going, meaning Chris Jones and Frank Clark, they're as good as any 2, like any duo in the NFL, I think. Like those are a legitimate 1-2 elite pass rushing duo when they're at the top of their game. We just haven't seen it all that much because either Jones is hurt, Clark's hurt, Clark has something going on that is quote unquote hurt, or he's just losing weight. He had the stomach virus or whatever. Things have just kept them from being on the field at once. And now that they are, man, it's helped turn this Chiefs defense around.
Yeah, that's why I thought that they would be better defensively than they were at the beginning of the year. I thought that those 2 guys are a little bit underrated nationally. I know that we love them here in Chiefs Kingdom, but I know a lot of people give Frank Clark a hard time too, though. So I saw in your article the quick hits right after the game. I saw you told those people they need to give Frank Clark an apology, and that's definitely true. I was never jumping on the hate Frank Clark bandwagon, so I'm not going to apologize to him because I never was talking smack on the guy. So I can keep a clear head with that. But another guy that I was thinking about on the defensive end was Willy Gay Jr. He was making plays out there in the flat. That's the kind of linebacker that we've been wanting to see on the Chiefs defense, and he's showing out. Nick Bolton getting in the backfield early in the game, laying the smackdown on Zeke Elliott. And Snead was looking really solid out there, getting tackles, laying the boomstick on that first drive, getting the interception. And, man, it was just all over the board. It was a solid defensive performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And back to Willy Gay Jr., he had one third down play that was arguably the biggest play of his career. I'm sure he had a bigger one. But just the sideline to sideline range, the closing speed, the ability to extend and wrap up and make a tackle short of the sticks. I mean, it was close. It was like a 3rd and 2 on that left sideline. He played one of his best games as a Chief. I don't know what the PFF data says. I don't know what the box score stuff says. This has not been quite a breakout season in terms of completely breaking out, but he's had breakout moments for the Chiefs, some interceptions, some big plays. That was one of them. And then, man, you hit the nail on the head with L'Jarius Sneed. That guy is insane in the best of ways. Came into the game banged up. He had an ankle and a wrist that had been holding him back the past few weeks, then popped up with a knee injury heading into this one, was listed as questionable, ended up playing. You could tell, just like last week, he was kind of favoring it just a little bit, but still being physical, being a presence in pass rushing, just as a free blitzer, doing a fantastic job using his length and speed to his advantage, making plays down the field, getting the interception, being physical near the line of scrimmage, getting behind the line of scrimmage in the run game, blowing up screen passes. Like L'Jarius Sneed is putting together quite the month. And it's been a great 4-game stretch for a lot of members of the Chiefs. But I don't think any of them have really been as impressive as L'Jarius Sneed.